Hello and welcome back to Toast and Strawberry Jam. Today I'm going to be doing my Top 5 Wednesday. So this is my first Top 5 Wednesday. I'm quite excited but also kind of annoyed that I picked this week as the first one, because in doing this one this wasn't a really good one for me, but I'm doing it anyway. I thought I'm just going to start it, I'm going to do it. The next week's is better, I think. I'm more interested in that one. This week's top 5 is top 5 books of characters, like side characters in books that you would like to have their own series for. Does that make any sense? No. This week's top 5 Wednesday is top 5 side characters who you think deserve their own series. I'm kind of annoyed that I picked this week's as my starting week. I'm definitely one of these people who will find any excuse not to start doing something. I'll be like, oh, this one's not very good, so I'm just going to start next week. And then it'll be like, oh, well, I don't really have time this week, so I'll just start next week. So I thought, I don't care that I don't like this one, I'm just going to do it. And I can explain to you why I don't like it, and that's good too. I did pick 5 characters that I would like to have side stories, or series for. No, not series. You'll understand. I really don't like spin-offs and things like that. I find them, I'm so cynical about it. I always just think that it's like money grabbing, and I don't know, sometimes I think that you can get more from a character if you don't actually know more about them. So some of my favourite characters, you can kind of just imagine what their childhood was like, or you can imagine what they did after that particular event, and that is better, I think, than maybe being told what happened. You can be told too much. So I don't want any side series or any series for side characters. I don't want it, because I like thinking of their background stories myself. But I would maybe like some short stories, or just a little bit about the characters that I have picked. So the first character, and these are in no particular order, these are just as I thought of them. The first character that I would like to know a little bit more about is Prim from The Hunger Games. I would like to know what happened after Katniss volunteered as tribute for her. I want to know what happened when they started their uprising, and I want to know how she went from being what we saw as this little girl to being what we see in the last book. And that's what I would like to see. I would like it to be a short story or something like that just kind of gives us a little bit of information about her development as that character. The second character, or characters, that I would like to see a little bit more about are the kings and queens and leaders of the other Londons in A Darker Shade of Magic. I find the kind of parallel Londons with different social classes and things like that, I find that really, really interesting, and I would really like just a little bit more information about each of the Londons and their leaders, all of the Londons, even the one that we see a lot of in the book anyway. I want more. I want some past on all 4 of the Londons, and then I want current stuff about the 3 Londons that we see now. I don't know what is coming in the future books, maybe I will get this, but that is what I would like to see, books or short stories about the leaders of the alternative Londons. The third character I'd be interested in seeing a little bit more about is Max from The Book Thief. Max is if you haven't seen it, then if you haven't read it, then this might be a spoiler, so warning. Max is the Jewish guy that they hide in their basement during the Book Thief, and so I would like to know more about him. You get a little bit of information about him when he was younger, but I would like to know more about what happens after he leaves them. Then I would like to know a little bit more about Luna from Harry Potter. Really, I would probably like to know more about all of the characters from Harry Potter, but on the other hand, I don't want to know any more about the other characters from Harry Potter, because I have to admit that I'm kind of disappointed at some of the stuff that is being released about characters and things like that. I don't think it's necessary. It's fair enough if you think that it was integral to their character development or to their character creation, but if there is literally no evidence of it in the book, then why does it need to be mentioned? Why does it matter? And in some ways I guess that's the point, like, but I don't know, just I don't know. But anyway, I want to know more about, I love Harry Potter so much, so I would obviously love more Harry Potter, but Luna would be a very interesting person to hear a lot more about, because we don't see her until like the 5th or 6th book, I can't remember now, but we don't see her until quite late in the series, and so I want to know, like, where was she in the first few books, like what was she doing, like how did she do in lessons, like she's really odd and really interesting, and I would really like to know more about her younger years and, you know, what happens to her when, like, during the times that we haven't seen her. Finally, and this is probably actually the only character who I would genuinely like more about, because they're my favourite character. He's my favourite character from the Harry Potter series, and I want to know more about him, and I want to know more about his friends when they were young, and that is Lupin. I really, really love Professor Lupin. He is definitely my favourite character in all of the Harry Potter books, and I want to know more about him and James and just like the group of them, Sirius and even Wormtail as well, you know. I want to know about them. I want a Marauders book, please, because I really, really love the Marauders and yeah, I really, really want to see that. I know that there's like a fan film has just, like, I saw on the internet like about a fan film, and I'm probably going to be watching that at some point, but I want more about Lupin, please. Genuinely want as much Lupin as possible, please. Yeah, that would be nice. So those are the characters that I would kind of like to have more about, not series, but short stories, maybe one book about. Yeah. Not, like I say, this wasn't my favourite one to start with, but next week's is better, so I'm interested in looking into that one. It's going to take a bit more thought, I think. So yeah, I'm going to put links to all of the Top 5 Wednesday information down below. It'll be a link over to Goodreads, where you can find a list of all of the YouTubers, booktubers, bloggers, whatever, people who are taking part in Top 5 Wednesday, and they'll also have a list of all of the Top 5 Wednesdays for the next year, or until the end of this year, will all be listed as well in the group, so go and check that out. And yeah, let me know if you do this video. I want to watch more of these. I think they're quite interesting, quite fun, and it's something that I've only kind of come across in the past couple of weeks, so yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye! Sounds like a robot waving. Can you hear my... That's really gross. My elbow is like... Ugh.